Hi, Parkway Manor. It's Monday, May 11th. We're ready to begin our new chapter book, The Trouble with Chickens by Doreen Cronin. Chapter 1, Chicken Breath. It was a hot, sunny day when I met that crazy chicken. So hot that sometimes I think the whole thing may have been a mirage. But mirages don't have chicken breath, mister. She was a short, tired-looking bird with a funny red comb on her head. It looked about as useful to her as a spoon is to a snake. Her eyes were tiny and black and set so close to each other they practically touched. I'd be surprised if the right eye could report back seeing anything other than the left eye. Chickens make me nervous. Can't keep them quiet. We stared at each other for an awkward moment. I nodded to tell her to move on. She picked up her left foot carefully, not sure whether she should back out of my sweltering doghouse. As her foot hung in midair, she lowered her pointy white head and very deliberately said, "Nothing." A phone rang, a car backfired, a blender roared, and that crazy chicken didn't blink. She was one tough bird. Chapter 2, Introductions. My name's Jonathan, by the way. Jonathan Joseph Tully, JJ for short. I spent 7 years as a search and rescue dog. The quiet life in the country where Barb, my trainer, lived was my reward for all those years of service. Some reward. I could track the 6-day-old scent of a lost hiker and pull a fat guy out from under a pile of rubble. But I couldn't get that crazy chicken out of my yard. Her name, by the way, was Millicent. I called her Mush, just because it was easier to say, and it seemed to annoy her. She had 2 little puffy chicks with her. She called them Little Boo and Little Peep. I called them Dirt and Sugar. Yeah, for no particular reason. Mush had got the word that I knew how to solve problems. Boy, did that chicken have problems. "I'll pay you in chicken feed," said Mush. Now that was the chicken's first problem. "I don't work for feed." "No dice," I replied. Dirt and Sugar were bathing in my water bowl. "Okay, I'll pay you in feathers." Now that was the chicken's second problem. I already got a pillow," I growled. Dirt and Sugar were playing in my food bowl. Crazy chicks. I was losing my patience. "Look, I'll work for a cheeseburger. Take it or leave it." Now Mush's tiny chicken head cast a huge pointy shadow against the side of my weather-beaten doghouse. She took a step away from me, turning her head to glance at Dirt and Sugar. Those 2 feather balls jumped about my water ball and rolled in the grass. They looked like they didn't have a care in the world, but their mom sure did. A passing cloud offered some certain shade from the sun. Mush's big pointy chicken shadow finally moved. "Done," said Mush. "Well done," I cracked. I thought she smiled, but it's tough to tell when you have a beak. Chapter 3, Chicken Missing. Mush paced back and forth, back and forth. Dirt and Sugar followed her. As Mush took a step forward, Sugar fell into line right behind her. Now I expected Dirt to do the same, but for some reason, she waited 2 beats and then got into line. Dirt left enough space in between herself and Sugar to park a squirrel. I'm no chicken expert, but something wasn't right. "Who's missing?" I asked Mush. The truth was somewhere between her brain and her beak. I wasn't sure it would survive the trip. "Spill it, Mush," I grunted. She was getting on my nerves. Dirt and Sugar stepped out from behind their mother. They were half yellow, half white. They kind of looked like fuzzy popcorn kernels with feet. They were new enough to this world to be spitting up eggshell. Their eyes were wide and young and close set like their mother's. Sugar cocked her head, stepped out from behind her popcorn sister, and motioned with one tiny wingette for Dirt to stay behind. A ladybug flew into the doghouse. and crawled across the floor, oblivious to the chicken tension building in the room. I growled. Beep, beep, Sugar peeped. I growled again. Sugar took a step closer, bracing herself against the water bowl. Poppy and Sweetie are missing, she whispered. Now, she may have looked fluffy and new, but the chick had already learned that life outside the shell was not all it was cracked up to be. I'm so excited. These chapters are small, so we can keep rolling. Chapter 4, Poppy and Sweetie. Poppy and Sweetie. Now, their names annoyed me too, but it wasn't time for nicknames. Nicknames are only cute when your mother knows where you are. I had Dirt and Sugar take me to the last place where they saw Poppy and Sweetie. It was just outside the chicken coop. I told the Fluffy family to stand still. I didn't have any of Poppy's or Sweetie's belongings to sniff, but I had their siblings. Close enough. I had no idea how hard it might be to track the scent if I found it. On the job, we called it probability of detection, or POD for short. With no personal effects, the probability of detection in this case was low. Very low. But now was not the time to burden a chicken's mother's heart with a low POD. Now, there's an easy way to do a search and a hard way. The easy way is early in the evening with a cool breeze and a steady partner. The hard way is at high noon in the day with a crazy chicken clucking in your ear and 2 feather balls riding your tail. This search was going to go the hard way. I had to give it to Moosh straight. Humans have a knack for finding themselves in places where they don't belong. Dark woods, cold snow, and deep canyons. Lucky for them, they stink. But I don't know from chickens, so don't get your hopes up. Moosh took a deep breath. She knew the score. In the harsh sunlight, her comb had lost its bright red luster. It was 4th of July weekend and the air was heavy. I got down as low as I could. The earth will hold on to your smelly secrets for a long, long time, and it will give them up to any dog who comes sniffing. Problem is, it gives up all the secrets at once. You have to be able to sniff through them to find the one you need. Bare feet, barbecue sauce, blueberries. It didn't take long to pick up what I thought was a chicken trail. I followed it around the edge of the yard, under a pile of rotting wood, past the barn, and then across the open field. For all I knew, it could have been a chicken sandwich. Then something hit me in the eye, hard. I stopped in my tracks. Moosh, Dirt, and Sugar were right behind me. When I looked up, I got hit again. It was rain. Hard pouring rain. The kind of rain that makes grown people wear funny boots. I called off the search. Sugar was in my face. Listen, Mutt, my brother and sister are missing, and you're worried about getting wet? She was so close to me I could have bitten her right in half. Make like a sponge, mister. Now I had to hand it to Sugar. She was one tough chick, as tough as her mother. Now, boys and girls, have you figured out who the voice in our story is? Who's telling this story? You guessed it. JJ Tully, our dog. He's the voice in our story. Stay tuned tomorrow where we read Chapter 5, Chicken Scratch. Have a wonderful day, boys and girls. We'll see you soon.